Okay, well, my first video talking shit about PlayStation blew up. I guess we can do that again. Recently, Sony has released the PS5 Pro, and with how much of a failure the original PS5 console was, with sales not doing too good, maybe this could be a chance for them to get it right. Biggest issues that player had with the PS5 was the price. Even though technically it was $400 for the digital version, just to have a disc drive added an extra $100 to that price point, which looking back on it, this shit was such a fucking scam. Sure, you could buy the disc drive separately for $80 now if it's available on PlayStation's site. If not, you can get it with these generous prices in these other stores. Not only was this pricing just too expensive, but to a lot of players this price wasn't really worth what you were getting. Personally, I have a PS5 and I do like it a lot. It's definitely better than having my old PS4, which sounded like a fucking plane engine.
Welcome to Sony Airlines. Make sure you fasten your seatbelt, please.
And it runs all my games pretty smooth with great graphics. But while this console is definitely an improvement from the PS4, I wouldn't say it innovates beyond that. The haptic feedback on the controllers was one of the biggest selling points for me when I first saw the console. It sounded so cool that while playing the game, you would feel every step your player took or feel the tension every time he shot a gun. And while this feature is neat, the only games I played that took full advantage of this was that Astrobot demo that came with the console and Deathloop, which was Arcane's weakest game before Redfall came out. So maybe with the PS5 Pro they give us more features and upgrade the console with bigger storage, better performance and amazing graphics. This could save PlayStation's current downfall, and they know this could save them, so to show how much they care about the PlayStation community, they priced this new console to be $700. Sony has not learned, nor do they give a fuck. They saw the failure of the first console and was like, okay, clearly something went wrong here, guys. Maybe it was that we forced players to pay $500 just to add a disc drive to the console? No, it can't be. It's COVID's fault we can't make enough consoles for demand. That's why we're losing money. With this $700 price, is this new console at least worth it? Well, the graphics have been improved a lot with better ray tracing and higher resolutions, and the frame rates are now higher as well. That's pretty cool. So what else? What else? Is there anything else? That's fucking it. You're basically paying $200, or if you have the digital version, $300 more just for better graphics, which the PS5 already has really good graphics. What is there to improve? Like, they show how AI improves the resolution for these games just slightly in the showcase, and this dude that talks like an android is like, look how the PS5 Pro improves the pixels to make the background look sharper. I don't even pay attention to the background of a game when I'm playing it. You're telling me I'm paying $700 just for distant objects that I give no attention to look slightly better? Sure, it does look better. I'm not saying I don't see any improvements, but if this is the main selling point for your console, something is wrong. Also, the fact that we're already getting AI integrated with our console is a little concerning, but this is not that type of video, so I don't really care for now. And I like how they show side-by-side comparisons of gameplay for both the PS5 and PS5 Pro, and they look the fucking same. They have to slow down the video just so you can see some sort of difference. And out of all the new games they could have showed off to at least build up some hype, they used The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered to showcase the console's graphical power, which, by the way, the fact that this game has a remastered version is extremely fucking stupid and is actually another reason why I think PlayStation is not doing too good right now. The exclusives, god, what the fuck happened now? Why do they all suck? The last generation for PlayStation literally had games like Uncharted 4, Spider-Man, the God of War reboot, and great remakes, keyword remakes, of beloved games like Shadow of the Colossus and Ratchet & Clank. But now instead of getting good remakes, we're now getting remasters for games that do not need to be remastered. Like, I kinda get if they wanted to port The Last of Us 1 on PS4 and give that great story greater graphics, but The Last of Us 2? I haven't played that game yet. I'm not saying it's bad, but when I saw it on the PS4, I thought it looked fucking amazing. Why does this exist? And when the PS5 first came out, it took so long for us to start getting some titles for that damn console. When it first dropped, I think we got that Demon's Souls remake and Miles Morales, which is literally playable on the PS4. But granted, the PS4 shit, even the PS3 started off pretty slow with the exclusives, but then cooked bangers down the line. The first PS5 exclusive I played was Deathloop, which had a lot of style and presentation but lacked so much in gameplay and replay value, and was literally added to the Xbox and PC PC later on. Well, I am a huge fan of Little Big Planet, so I got excited when they announced Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Sure, it's just a spin-off, but I would love to see what sandbox opportunities await in this new top-down perspective. Oh, you can't make levels in this game, it's just a platformer. Who was this game made for? Okay, whatever, we've now finally got the anticipated sequel for Spider-Man, something that I've been waiting a while now for. And I mean, it's decent, but this is such an underwhelming sequel. Like, you could just tell it was rushed with this shitty Venom plot and lack of innovation. While I wouldn't say all these games are bad, I still haven't played God of War Ragnarok and I heard that was pretty good. These games are not the same hits they used to be. It feels like most of these exclusives are made to only make sales, not leave memorable experiences that could grow PlayStation's image and reputation. These games are all just a shell of what they used to be. And I would even say most of these games are shovelware quality, and no game says this better than fucking Concord. To me, this game is not just a failure. It is a fucking spectacle on how abysmal this game's launch was. You're telling me this game had a budget of around $400 million but had an all-time peak of 697 players on Steam? Sure, there are games that had worse player counts, but this is a AAA game that was backed up by one of the biggest gaming companies. How did it fail this bad? A lot of players chalk it up to this game's unappealing character design, and while it's definitely one of the reasons, to me there are two big things on why I think this game did horrible. One, nobody knew this game fucking existed, and two, the players that knew of this game's existence were clearly just not interested in it, and I don't blame them. This is a hero shooter that not only dropped in an already oversaturated genre but did nothing to stand out from those other games. Apex Legends, Overwatch, and Marvel Rivals are all free to play hero shooters that you can download and play right now, and they all have their own unique things that make them different and special from each other. While Concord required you to pay $40 to play a bare bones hero shooter that did nothing innovative. I'd rather fucking play Overwatch even with that game sucking dick now, because at least it won't waste my money. And it's not just the price tag, but the whole game's design just looks so uninspiring. Like, I will say this, Concord does have really good graphics, but this game is a good reason why your game needs to have a good art style, because it just looks super fucking bland. Players like Overwatch because of its vibrant and cartoony style, players like Apex for its futuristic but slightly rustic aesthetic, and players like Marvel Rivals because it uses beloved superheroes. These games aren't doing anything crazy from a gameplay standpoint, and in fact some of them are kind of in a shit spot right now, but the reason they have a steady player count is because they are appealing. Concord does not look appealing from an art and gameplay standpoint. That's why it did so bad, and Concord is just one of many of PS5's underwhelming exclusives. They've all been failing because of a lack of effort and innovation, and a lot of players are now just getting fed up with this lack of creativity, with Concord being a mess. But what if I told you this has actually been going on since the launch of the PS5? Do y'all by any chance remember Destruction All-Star? Shout out to the two people watching this video that remember that game. This was one of the games that was showed off during the PS5 reveal event, and a lot of people, including me, thought this game looked pretty neat. It looked vibrant, fun, and unique, so of course when the game came out, I decided to go and buy it. After like 2 hours of playing this game, I got so fucking bored. I thought this game was gonna be like a competitive PvP arena with cars where you had to demolish other players and be the last one standing. Something cool like Twisted Metal. But the main objective was just to rank up points, so the cool feature of running around in a demolition arena actually puts you in a disadvantage because you needed to be in a vehicle to get points. That's kind of lame. And while I wouldn't necessarily say this game was bad, it just had no replay value whatsoever, which is why after this game's launch they had to implement bots to the lobbies because no one was playing it. And while this game is not as expensive as other shit titles, if players wanted to play a live service multiplayer game that will live for a long time, I'm sorry PlayStation, but the only way you can keep those type of games alive is by making them free to play. No one is going to pay for a multiplayer game that is gonna fucking die literally the next week. And it sucks because this game actually has style and character to it, but the gameplay felt like it had nothing to stand on. This was just another shovelware multiplayer game that felt like a one and done deal, and that's it. PlayStation is known for their single player experiences, so why they keep on trying to make these multiplayer games that nobody is interested in has me in a fucking whirlpool. But I think the reason they've been experimenting with these multiplayer games recently is because right now the biggest competitor has basically given up, and why this is a very bad thing, well, I have to explain to you the importance of competition. I'll use fast food as an example of why competition is good for businesses. McDonald's right now are not as cheap as they used to be, has been giving out some pretty damn good deals like the $5 meal and 10 nuggets for $1 if you have the app. You want to know why McDonald's has these good deals? Well, it's the same reason Wendy's has a Krabby Patty meal, and the same reason why Burger King keeps making food that has over 1 million fucking calories. Holy shit, how do we eat this? All of this is because of competition. Each of these fast food restaurants are competing to be the best in the game. So how do they do that? By giving us better deals than the competitors. Now let's say every fast food restaurant disappeared from the market except for McDonald's. This would be horrible. Not for McDonald's of course, but for us consumers. Because without any competition, there's no need to try as hard anymore. These companies can now become complacent and give us the bare minimum, which from a business standpoint is amazing for the company because the output cost is so low but the return is so high. But when customers go to this McDonald's in this dystopian future, meals will now have ridiculous pricing. Instead of good food, you will now eat poorly made slop, and there's nothing you can do about it because this is a company that's worth billions of dollars. What makes you think they will listen to us? This is why we need competition, for us consumers can actually get things that are worth our money. Now that you guys know this, you can probably see why PlayStation's pricing is up but the quality is down. The main competition, which was Xbox for the longest time, has literally waved the white flag. Recently, CEO of Xbox Phil Spencer went on stream and said this: "It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're gonna see console shares shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One. I know this will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter when you're third place in a console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are." Now, I do respect Phil quite a bit for being open and honest about the missteps Xbox has taken over the years, and it's clear that he does have a huge passion for gaming. I mean, look how good the Game Pass has gotten because of him. But in this live stream, this whole monologue that he does is basically just him saying, "Hey guys, it's me, Phil Spencer, and me and my team at Xbox decided to fucking give up. Here you go, Sony, you won." It's actually really sad hearing Phil talk about how poorly Xbox is doing, and if I was one of the executives at Microsoft, this monologue he did would be my biggest fucking nightmare. I mean, we've all known Xbox wasn't doing the best since the Xbox One came out, but now we even have the CEO admitting that they're not doing too good. That's just giving Sony a green light to start overpricing dog shit because the biggest competitor stepped out. And the statement from Phil where he says that making great games won't sell our console, I kinda have to disagree with, because the reason we buy these fucking consoles is to play those fucking games. I'm not buying an Xbox One to watch The Price is Right. I want to play the new Halo game. I'm not buying a PlayStation 5 to play a remastered version of God of War. I want to continue the God of War story. And I'm not getting a Nintendo Switch to play these shitty ports of games that would run better on other consoles. I want to play as that red fucking plumber. These exclusives are the heart and drive of these consoles. I don't think the original Xbox would have done too good if it didn't have one of the most influential first-person shooters of all time as its exclusive. The PlayStation 3 would have not came back on top if it didn't have the best story-driven game of all time as its exclusive. And Nintendo would not even fucking exist if they didn't have all these amazing and super iconic games as their exclusives. While Nintendo's still gonna cook bangers because they've always done better than these two, there's no reason for them to start getting lazy. PlayStation and Xbox have gotten complacent and now have different goals in mind. Xbox does not care about being the best console anymore. They just want to focus on the Game Pass, which leads to PlayStation becoming lazy and greedy because the lack of competition allows them to. And sadly, as much as I would love to leave this video on a good note, there's really nothing we could do about this whole situation. If you're a diehard PlayStation fan, you might have to get used to these horrendous prices, and if you're a diehard Xbox fan, shit, get ready for the fucking funeral because this might be one of the worst eras for both of these consoles. I stopped paying for my PS Plus subscription because I'm done supporting something that should not be worth anybody's money. Online play should be free and I shouldn't have to pay $18 a month just to play Fallout 3 when I could just hop on my computer and get the same game for $10 on Steam and keep it forever. I don't need to worry about paying for this shitty subscription no more. Maybe more players need to have the same mindset like me. I guess we shouldn't get used to not owning our games. Our money should go to games that actually deserve more love and appreciation instead of these AAA games that are garbage. And we should stop being fanboys for little corporations that do not give a fuck about us. Fuck you, PlayStation. Hey guys, it's me Luminate. Hope you enjoyed this video. Promise I'll try to make more videos in the future that's not just me ranting about how much gaming sucks now. If you do like this type of content though, go ahead and leave a like to show your support and subscribe for more. If you really want to show love to my channel though, you can join my membership, also watch me go live here and there on Twitch, and my business email for any inquiries is all in the description. Thanks for sticking around.